Good morning and welcome to another edition of Viewpoint on More Public Radio. I'm your host, Eddrick Osborne. You can catch Viewpoint every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. here on More Public Radio, 88.1 FM, 97.7 FM, or via the internet at morepublicradiointernational.org. You can also catch us via podcast at eddrick.net, EDDRICK.net. Happy New Year to all of you, and we are kicking off 2011 with a very special guest, the legendary comedy writer and performer, Mr. Paul Mooney, and he's in town all week, and he's going to tell us about the Black Repertory Group's 8th annual comedy event. Paul, welcome to the show.
Good morning, and Happy New Year, and Happy Holiday, and Happy everything else. We've been having fun doing the comedy show, and it's a big benefit, and we're excited about it for the kids. And it's a Black Repertory Theater in Berkeley, and you know, we're going to do 3 shows Saturday, we're doing 3 shows Friday, and we're doing 3 shows Sunday. And we're excited about it. So if people can't come New Year's, they can come after New Year's, and we're going to bring the New Year in with a lot of laughter. And laughter, you know, it makes me feel like I'm a doctor. It's a cure-all. And so we're very excited about it. And I want to personally invite you, too, so you have to come down.
Oh, of course, of course. And one of the things that's very interesting about the show is you're actually working with your sons, the Mooney twins. So tell us what it's like.
My eldest sons, the Mooney twins.
Yeah, what is it like working with family?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, you know, the family that stays together, prays together. You know, I just reversed it.
Now, one thing about being in the game as long as you have, what are some of the lessons that maybe you have been passing on or talking to your kids about? I mean, how do you guide them through this business so that they come out on top?
Well, I write for them, and I talk to them about it, and I tell them, to get on stage, because you only find it on stage, and just, be creative and be true to yourself and be an artist and know the business. I mean, besides being on stage and performing, I make them do behind-the-stage things, too, because you have to really be overqualified. Comedy is a very difficult business. You have to really love it. You have to give up everything. It's kind of like being a vampire. You have to give your life to it. You have to just, you have to live and breathe and think and eat and comedy. I mean, it's what you do, and it's who you are. And a lot of people do it for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of wrong reasons. And the people who love it the most last the longest.
One of the things that, again, that you've been known for, and something that you've just been very influential over the past 30 years or so, and you've worked with some of the greats, is comedy writing. And a lot of us who go to comedy shows, we see the guy on stage or a gal on stage, and, we don't truly appreciate the writing, the craft of writing that goes into that comedy performance. So let me ask you, some of the folks who have influenced you, or some of the people who you know of who are great comedy writers, may not necessarily be performers, but people who are really great at just writing comedy.
Well, that's behind the scenes. There's a lot of great writers. A lot of comics, they write and they perform. I mean, they do both. But it's the more famous they get, the lazier they get. Writing is hard, so they hire someone to write. I mean, they hire someone like me. But it's innate for me. I've been able to write comedy since I was 7 years old, and it just pours out of me. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with God. I mean, people are shocked that things come out of my mouth. I mean, I'm shocked sometimes. I don't know where it comes from, but it comes from somewhere. And I enjoy it. I mean, I wear different hats. I'm an actor. I'm a producer. I'm a writer. I'm a comedian. I'm a father, I'm a grandfather. I mean, I just wear the hats, and I enjoy it, and I'm very happy, and I'm very blessed that I'm on top of my game. I mean, I'm still here, and so it's a blessing. And, and I say to anybody that's going to get into it, you better be able to give it all, because you can't just, some people just want to get into exciting because it looks so good, and they just want to be famous, and that's not a good idea just to do it just for the fame. You have to really love it. I mean, I really love what I do.
This is Viewpoint on More Public Radio, and our guest this morning is comedy writer and performer and actor Mr. Paul Mooney. He's in town all week at the Black Repertory Theater Group's 8th annual comedy event, and I'll give you all the details when we get ready to close out the interview. Something you draw from a lot is politics, and how do you get your inspiration? I mean, do you see the news, things that's pop in your head? Like you say, you say things that just come to you.
I get it from life. That's why I'm neighborhood. I'm not Hollywood. That's why I'll ride the bus, I'll ride the train, I'll ride the plane. I just, a lot of my friends are very famous and very rich, and they love for me to come to their house and visit and talk to them because they're out of sync. They hang up their guns. They're like Jesse James, and like Jesse, you can get shot in the back. You can't hang your guns up. You've got to get out there, and you have to know what's going on. So that's how I feel about it. So I don't want to be Hollywood. I want to be neighborhood. I guess I'm a people's comic. I mean, I live for it, and I love my fans. I mean, because without them, there is no Paul Mooney. So they're the best.
Exactly.
So I just want to invite everyone to the show, and everyone have a good holiday and a happy New Year, and we'll see you at the Black Repertory Theater this week.
All right. So last question for you real quick. You've worked with some of the greats, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, and working with comedians like that who have had such a mark on comedy. Were there any common themes or things that they shared, or how do you categorize those folks because they've had such an influence on comedy?
I've worked with some white comedians too, with Roseanne Barr and Sandra Bernhard. There's David Letterman. I've worked with a bunch of white ones too, but it's too funny, and some Latins also. But comedians are very interesting people, and they're fascinating. And most of them are introverts. They really are not people. I happen to be rare. I'm a people's person. They're actually they're hard to come close to them. And also that's why they do impressions, because they love being other people.
Well, before we get to let me just ask my last question for you is: after this comedy event is done, what's next for Paul Mooney, and where we'll be able to see your work?
Well, I just got to doing a paid preview, so just keep watching Showtime and HBO and all that thing that's on that thing they call television. Just keep watching it, and so I'll get on the internet. It tells you everything. You can find out anything on the internet. All
right. Well, let me give the details. This is the Black Repertory Group presents Paul Mooney's 8th annual comedy event with a special appearance by the Mooney twins. It's been going on all week, and it'll run through Sunday, January 2nd. And it's going to be at the Black Repertory Theater, which is at 3201 Adeline in Berkeley. For information about the show or to get tickets, you can go a couple of ways. You can go to brownpapertickets.com, brownpapertickets.com, and you can also go to blackrepertorygroup.com, blackrepertorygroup.com. And for those of you who will get the podcast on Eddrick.net, we will have a link to the event so you can get all the details. So, Paul, again, thank you so much for sharing your time and helping us kick off 2011 with a special guest like yourself. Thank you very much.
Well, ditto. Okay, thanks, man.
All right. This is Viewpoint on More Public Radio. I'm your host, Eddrick Osborne, and we'll be right back right after this.